back to my channel. The time is here. The time has come. Creature Commandos will debut this Thursday on HBO or Max, whatever it's called. I still call it HBO Max. Regardless, Creature Commandos debuts this Thursday with a 2-episode premiere. This is going to be a spoiler-free review of the entire series because I have been fortunate enough to watch all 7 episodes, and I will just say I had a lot of fun with this. People who know me know I'm fairly critical of things James Gunn has done in the past, be it, with Guardians 2 or even the Suicide Squad film. Like, his brand of humor doesn't necessarily gel with me most of the time. His level of raunchiness also is kind of like for me. But that said, I do think that this series was a lot of fun. There are a lot of cool characters. There's a lot of great stuff in this series. There's a lot of nice little nods and winks to certain DC pillars of DC characters and certain concepts in DC. Like, it is very much a TV show that honors and embraces everything beautiful about the DC universe. And it doesn't necessarily lay the foundation for things to come, but it definitely gives you an idea of what this world is like. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the commandos themselves, right? We'll go one at a time, from the leader of Creature Commandos all the way up to the antagonist. But yeah, Creature Commandos is a super fun time, and these characters are a blast to hang out with. First up, we have Amanda Waller, played by the one and only Viola Davis, reprising her role from the Suicide Squad film, as well as The Suicide Squad, the follow-up in 2021. I know, very confusing titles. But she tasks Rick Flag Sr. this time around with heading the Creature Commandos on a mission to Pakistan to stop Cersi and the Sons of Themyscira from overtaking it and assassinating the princess. Amanda Waller is a ruthless and cunning tactician. She does what she does for the interest of the greater good of the United States of America, and Rick Flag is more or less one of the co-leads of the show that we follow throughout. Frank Grillo is the one voicing this character this time around, and it has been confirmed that he will continue his role as Rick Flag Sr. throughout the Superman film coming in July of 2025, as well as Peacemaker Season 2, which I don't doubt Amanda Waller will probably have a part to play in as well. But Rick Flag Sr., on the other hand, unlike his son, is a little bit more brash, a little bit more focused, way more seasoned, because there are some things that happen with him down the line in certain episodes where you see him tussle and toil with certain characters, and it's pretty cool. Old Man Flag can hold his own, and I think Frank Grillo does a really great job of bringing this character to life, especially even just in the voice form thus far. And he is also a little too easily manipulated. Maybe manipulated is not the right word, but he's very easily coerced. But Rick Flag Sr. is a cool character, and of course his boss. I'm a huge fan of Amanda Waller, and it's really nice to see her getting some love again. All right, next up we have the Princess of Pakistan. God, that is a mouthful of a fictional country to say. Princess Ilana Rosic, played by Maria Bakalova, who, if you are familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as well as the holiday special, she voiced the character Cosmo in that, and Maria Bakalova is a huge fan of James Gunn, and she had spoken throughout a couple interviews that she wanted the chance to work with him again, and apparently she was the first person cast in the DC universe as this character. Now, the princess is very much aware of her situation, and she's very grateful to General Flag and the Creature Commandos for coming to keep her safe. And I will leave it at that, because there are some things that come down the line with her character that, well, let's just say you can find out for yourself. But overall, this character was a fun addition to the DCU. It's an original character created for the show, and I believe the actress Maria Bakalova definitely owned this role in a lot of cool ways. And the fun thing is like, when you see these characters online, if you visualize who their actors are, you can kind of maybe see them in a live action sense for sure. But Princess Ileana is definitely a very layered character, is the best way I will put it. All right, next up we have the antagonist of the series, and that is one Cersi, who is often a foe of Wonder Woman, this time played by Anya Shalatra, who was in the Witcher TV series, if I'm not mistaken. And man, let me tell you, Cersi is a force to be reckoned with. She is super powerful. There's a little bit of clairvoyance going on with her character, and there's one thing that happens with her character in one of the future episodes that I won't spoil here, but man, it's dope. It is dope. But Cersi absolutely makes a name for herself. She has an entire army of dudes named they're named the Sons of Themyscira, but they're very clearly inspired by a very certain radicalized group of, well, just radicalized individuals. Let's just put it to you that way. Definitely an interesting villain for this piece. Really love the way they showcased her powers. Really love the way that Anya Shalatra plays the character. Like I really enjoyed everything with Cersi in this show. And again, there's something really cool that happens in a future episode, and it is definitely going to have some head spinning, and people are going to be talking about it. But I loved Cersi, and I love that she was one of the first antagonists introduced in Creature Commandos. Nonetheless, the all right, let's get familiar with the Creature Commandos themselves. First up, we have the Bride. This is very much similar origin to the Bride of Frankenstein. That's exactly who she is, but the DC version of the character. She has kind of a no-nonsense policy. She has a very short temper. She does not like having her time wasted. She's very much a cold character in terms of being interactive with the rest of the commandos. She kind of keeps to herself for the most part. She's very vulgar, and she absolutely kicks a lot of ass when necessary. There is one thing that happens with this character where I kind of went, nope. Wasn't a fan of that choice of what they decided to do. This series was written by James Gunn, and there's just one thing that happens in an episode with her, and I was just like, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of it, and it's just a creative thing that I was just like, nope. Won't get into it here because again, this is spoiler free. But on the whole, the Bride was played by Indira Varma, and she just absolutely kills it in terms of portrayal. Like I love this character a lot. I think there's a lot here to chew on. She's very complex, and she's got a very tragic story to her origin as well. You see that played in the series, and this is easily one of the cooler characters on the Creature Commandos roster, and she's awesome. Next up, we have Weasel, who of course is also voiced and even portrayed by Sean Gunn. Now, this is a character reprising the role from the Suicide Squad film in 2021. He is very much that feral, weird creature from that movie, and the feral rage continues here with this character. You do actually get a little bit of his backstory in one of the episodes here as well, and it's honestly a little heartbreaking what happens to Weasel, but that still does not stop this thing from being just an outright menace and an out and about feral creature through and through. Honestly, the Weasel is a force to be reckoned with. I would not want to be left in the same room alone with this thing if it's angry, and you know what? It's a fun little addition to the show, and also keeps some continuity from the Suicide Squad. You will see Weasel do some very interesting things, and you also see Weasel do some very grotesque things. That's as much as I will say here. All right, next up we've got GI Robot, who is voiced by Sean Gunn. That is James Gunn's brother. And this is a character, this is easily, without a doubt, my favorite character of the Creature Commandos. He is very much, I wouldn't say one note per se, but he does one thing, and he does that thing well, and he loves to kill Nazis, and that is the thing that he does well. I loved his origin story in this series. I thought he was a great character, a great addition to the Creature Commandos. It's a little tragic what happens to him and how he winds up being on the Creature Commandos, but nonetheless, like, he's such a fun character, and so for a robot created to do one thing, there's just so much innocence to this character that I really appreciated. And again, like, the friendship he has with Nina Mazursky in this series is just so cool and so fun and so awesome. I can't wait for you guys to meet GI Robot. Easily my favorite character of the entire series, without a doubt. Now here we have Dr. Phosphorus, voiced by the one and only Alan Tudyk, and man, this character is perpetually sarcastic. He is hilarious. He is 100% the same villain from that one big hero in DC, and I will just say that his origin story is just as tragic as the rest of them. You see him go through some shit, figuratively, and he has got some of the coolest powers, as you can see here in this still. He's evaporating bullets with his abilities, and man, this is just a very interesting character who's very much morally ambiguous. If there is a more morally ambiguous character in this show, it is without a doubt Dr. Phosphorus, 100%. He is without question just this crude individual, but at the end of the day, he is also trying to be he's not trying to be a total shitbag, but you know, he's kind of an asshole in a fun way though. And lastly, while not necessarily part of the Creature Commandos themselves, we do have one Eric Frankenstein, played by David Harbour. And this character, as David Harbour describes him, is colorful, and I think that's putting it lightly. This is in association with the Bride's character. They both they share an origin in a sense. They are tied together in a certain way, and this character has such a very interesting arc through this show, and I there were times where I was like going, "What are you doing?" And then there were times where I went, "Oh, poor Frankenstein," because at the end of the day, he just wants one thing. And it's kind of a bummer that he's also kind of childlike in a sense, but he doesn't really understand the concept all that well. But I really love this character and the portrayal that David Harbour gave him, and I'm kind of hoping that David Harbour does get the chance to play this character in live action. That would be just exquisite, if I do say so myself. Hopefully Frankenstein and even some more of the Creature Commandos make an appearance later on down the line. We'll see what happens though. So we have a clip here of Creature Commandos, and the animation here is just super crisp, really well done, really fluid. It feels like a combination of Batman the Animated Series, a little bit of Batman Brave and the Bold, those two shows. It's a way better animation style than, I would say, the Tomorrowverse, the previous entries from Warner Brothers Animation, the last iteration of DCU animated stuff. And this clip right here is just really funny, getting to know the Commandos a little bit as they embark on their mission to Bakolistan. GI mistakes Weasel for a Nazi and attempts to blow his brains up, but Flag kind of settles him down a little bit. Yeah, this animation is really awesome. You know, props to Bobby Pills, the animation studio based in France, who handled the animation of all this. Overall, I think Creature Commandos is really strong, really well done, great show. There were a couple things where I was just like, no, don't really like that. But overall, again, really great show. Written by James Gunn, executive produced by, of course, James Gunn, Peter Safran, Sam Register of Warner Brothers Animation, of course, Dean Lowry. Like, these guys did an excellent job bringing this show to life. It's just really well done, really good show. You know, the animation was done by, as I mentioned earlier, Bobby Pills. Like, they just an excellent show. Excellent all the way through and through. These are really fun characters. This is a really great glimpse into the DCU that James Gunn and Peter Safran are creating. There's some really interesting characters. Longtime fans of DC will be rewarded. There are some winks and nods and some fun cameos, I'll say that. Yeah, this is definitely one of the better animated efforts they've done, and by they I mean, you know, DC. Again, this is a really great first entry into James Gunn's DC universe. It doesn't necessarily plant seeds for stuff coming down the line, but it definitely offers, again, a glimpse into a larger world that feels lived in. You know, we don't really need origin stories from this, and it's just a really well-made show. Just really, really well done all around. Really stacked cast, really great animation, just great story. Overall, just a really fun time. You will have your heartstrings tugged at. You will laugh. You may cry. And you are definitely going to witness some bones breaking and some heads being exploded. It's, you know, it's in that wheelhouse. And it's fun. Again, it's the F word. It's the fun word. It's fun. It's a fun show. It's a nice little entry into the DCU, and it's exactly what James Gunn said it was going to be. It's an appetizer. Everything kicks off with Superman for sure, but definitely, if you want a glimpse of what this world is like and what it has to offer, I'd say watch Creature Commandos. I had a fun time with it, and I can't wait to see what everyone else has to say about it. If you like this video, you know, hit like and subscribe. Much appreciated. If you guys want to hear me talk more about this, I will be talking about it with the DC TV podcast, along with my buddy and editor-in-chief, Multiverse of Color, Annie Babakt. And of course, I will also be talking about this on my other buddy, Jedi Mike. We did an early review of it as well over on his YouTube channel. But we will this will not be the first and last time I talk about Creature Commandos. I can guarantee you that. But if you like what I'm doing, you know, hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Helps the show get noticed. Helps me out. Much love. Take care. Enjoy Creature Commandos. The DC universe is here.